I know everyone's up in their heads right now, but we have real problems to solve. So let's clear the air.
Are you running this discussion, then?
She is.
Sev, this has to start with you. We knew you were working with the Eye. We told you we'd have your back. Help us understand what happened. Just breathe, Sev. Start from the beginning.
I'm sure Brynn and Sola told you all. But I belong to an order called the Norians. We're sometimes called the Watersmiths. Imagine my surprise to learn our talents had been critical to the construction of the tapestry. Our order binds us to always help another Norian. Especially a high-ranking one like Stanild. And to keep their secrets.
So that's how he sunk his claws into you.
Why is the Order so secretive?
We've always been critical to the survival of Taza. Water is life in the desert, and we control the flow of water. The Elders have a secret political chokehold on the kingdoms. The altruistic Norians will tell you the secrecy is so no one can undo our work. But I have my doubts. And so, the Order operates in the shadows. I imagine they were much the same here in the Enclave.
What did Stanild have you doing?
It was all work on repairing the Grand Gate. He'd heard about our success with the gate in the Hollow and felt I might be able to replicate it. Thanks to your help, I was able to do so. And he took me more into his confidence as a result.
Did you leave the Norians to become Sola's apprentice?
One never really leaves the Norians. Not with their life. If word got out about me betraying Stanild, I'd be a dead ram walking. But no. My people have a ritual known as Ram Bralem. It is a time to pursue another path. And Sola was kind enough to accept me for mine.
It's true. I knew it could be temporary, but was hoping you'd stay on after.
The most important thing is whether we can trust you.
Yes, Sev. Convince us.
I swear, nothing I did was intended to cause harm. Too many of my order are political animals. But there is real good to be found among the Norians. Craftspeople who just wish to perfect their art. To bring water to people in need. To experiment, but need the resources to do so. Unfortunately, too many of those resources are controlled by people like Stanild. They're all the same. They see a point of control. Water, information, wealth. And they abuse it. I thought the secrets were a necessary evil. For some great purpose, but seeing his chokehold on the Enclave, it's stagnation. You all have every right to distrust me. I am sorry. No more secrets. I just can't do it anymore.
If you can't be a Norian, then what are you?
If you'd have me, I'd like to stay.
Those of us who have been here longer than Sev. Thoughts?
It's hard to have divided loyalties. But you did the right thing in the end, and if you hadn't, we might all be dead. That takes courage.
Still wasn't quick enough.
I don't know what to make of any of this. I want to believe you, but it's hard in the uncertainty surrounding us.
When I was going through it, you all pulled together to help me.
You are all heard. And I would add that you joined us under false pretenses, Sev. You had loyalties outside the band you never disclosed.
I have a hard time accepting that he kept so much from us, but shared so much with the Eye. Who knows what Stanild, or gods help us, the Talon heard about us? Only time will tell how much damage that's done.
Lane, I hear you and I understand. Sev has real work to do to rebuild trust. Only you can decide when the apology feels real to you. Sev, that considered, you have worked tirelessly since joining us, and demonstrated an enterprising spirit and deftness as a smith. And before the blade could completely fall, you risked all by blocking it with your own hand. You can never be a Norian again. I do not sense that you wish to be. And who are the Weavers but a group of outcasts and misfits, just trying to muddle through together? You will stay, and you will help. We have work to do. Tell us about Stanild's plan.
Thank you, Horia.
This has been a rough ride for us all. This entire situation is unreasonable. Or would be for most, but not us. We're weavers, Sev included, and rolling with the punches is what we do. But here's our challenge. That Talon. It spoke. It knew things it couldn't know about us. We're on the back foot and need to catch up fast.
Then let me, as Horia said, help. After I repaired the gate, Stanild took me completely into his confidence. He'd been questioning and learning from the Talon, or so he thought.
Not realizing he was being manipulated.
He was increasingly estranged from his daughter. I'd wager he was desperate for a friend.
I'd agree. Based on what he'd learned from the Surgeborn from his friend, he put together a plan.
Use my people as a distraction to pull the bulk of the Surgeborn out of the Underworks. All while he used the gate to... what?
There is a place, deep, deep underground, known as the Source. A feat of engineering unparalleled. It's the secret to the Enclave's power. The abundance of magic. The heart of the tapestry. The thing powering the Veil. There was only a single loom gate still connected to the Source after Asylum cleared all connections. And I'm the one who repaired it.
The Grand Gate would take him right to the heart of things, then.
Exactly.
Stanild thought he could... what? Sneak down there and fix things somehow? Tear down the Veil?
His hope was to go down and secure a working space, sealed off from the distracted Surgeborn. He wanted to eventually fix things with the help of the Spindle. All glory to his family.
That arrogant idiot.
He'd read in his personal archives there was a system designed to shut down the Source. In the hopes of discovering how it worked, he had been feeding information to the Spindle about it in drips.
Meaning she might have been working on a fix for the Source without knowing it.
Then we have to pursue her research, clearly.
Good. But we still have the problem Stanild never saw coming. A great Surgeborn.
Which almost certainly will be unkillable if it operates like every other Surgeborn. It's hard to imagine any place more full of tangles than the literal source of the magic that's overflowing.
On that, I have an idea. If I'm right, we might be able to turn the tables and remove its advantage. I'll need Brynn's help if that's all right with everyone.
Of course. If it gives us a chance, we have to take it.
I agree.
Has anyone just thought to ask the Talon?
What would we ask it? Favorite color? Favorite way to disembowel Ashar?
No, she's right. It has clearly demonstrated an interest in Brynn. Maybe she could pry some information out of it.
I'm not sure I'll get much. But I'm also sure I'm not going to think it's my friend. So, worth exploring?
Then we have a path forward. Sev will pursue his thoughts on dealing with that beast.
My people have started calling it the Herald.
Of destruction? Doom?
Why not both? As I said, people are on edge.
Fine. Sev pursues weakening this herald. We work with the Axle to look into the Spindle's latest research. And if she feels like it, Brynn has a chat with our imprisoned Surgeborn.
As good a path forward as we are going to find. Let's call it here and get to work.
Brynn, I examined the wreckage at the Grand Gate after everything that transpired there.
Found something useful?
The kinetic strand, in fact. The Ark must have torn it from the Herald's pattern in the chaos of the battle.
Think we could weave it into my mantle?
I don't see why not. Its pattern appears to be quite similar to those found on wild creatures and Archons.
All right. We need every advantage.
Then let's get to work. And we're finished. This will be quite the powerful addition to your mantle.
How so?
This strand can twist kinetic magic into a tunnel. In battle, you could push debris or enemies through it and send them flying through the air quite forcefully.
Could I jump through it?
I suppose you could?
Hey, there's a lot of tall buildings, flying creatures. This is going to be great.
You're right. Just try to be careful. Brynn, I cannot fathom how you must have felt in that fight against the Surgeborn.
As strange as it is to say, I had the easy part.
Yes. The tragedy about Isla. So much talent lost, wasted even.
You are hardly in any position to make lofty demands. The Council convened and unanimously stripped you of your role. You no longer hold the privileges of the Eye.
And how quickly did you convene that council? You hardly waited for my daughter's body to cool.
She is dead because of you. Because of your reckless behavior and deception, no less.
Hirun, how dare you! Every decision I've made, every action I've taken has been for her protection.
Abandoning her at the Grand Gate was for her protection. We all saw you on the scry. And that is Khan Arteme to you, Kenrick.
Is this a bad time?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
No. You're more than welcome at Cassidon's Hold. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
I came to offer my condolences. To both of you.
Oh. Thank you.
In the end, she was braver than any of us could have imagined. She took a stand and did what she believed was right. I owe her my life.
She was exceptional. It's hard to imagine the Enclave will ever recover from this loss.
Then why are you so opposed to giving her the funeral she deserves?
With the Surgeborn swarming Denevron, we can't risk a trip to the Hallowpire Rise.
For generations, every Stanild has received the right of ashes upon death. Isla will not be the exception to this.
Could I perform the rite on your behalf?
You? Don't tell me you're a Hallowpire priestess on top of being a righteous pain in my ass.
Skies, do you want a funeral or not? She's our best option.
Isla saved my life. I want to help you honor her death.
I suppose you do owe her that. Fine. For the rite of ashes, you need to burn an object that was sacred to the deceased upon the High Pyre. As you collect the ashes, you must read a rite aloud to thank the flames for bringing the deceased to rest.
Do you have an object that was sacred to Isla?
Isla's most prized possessions aren't in Cassidon's Hold. She had a secret refuge in Dredger's Mire. You're sure to find something. She was always sneaking away at night to work there.
You knew she was sneaking out of Cassidon's Hold?
I knew my daughter better than she realized. Return to me with the ashes.
Thank you, Brynn.
Ridiculous! The Stanilds have been receiving the rite of ashes at the Hallowpire Rise for generations. That Hiram doesn't want to send a mourning party is an insult to her memory.
That's not fair. You know Khan Otame would love to give Isla...
Don't say her name.
All I'm saying is the Axel lost someone too. You don't need to make this harder on her.
And who, pray tell, is working to ease my pain? The answer is in the silence. No one. Let me guess. You've come to ask me to apologize to your naive lawkeeper.
No.
No? Isn't that what self-proclaimed heroes do? Demand justice for your friends?
I would never ask Lane to waste their energy on a conversation with you again. Do I think how you spoke to them was a disgusting, brutish display? Absolutely. But justice doesn't come with an apology from you, does it?
They attacked my legacy. I merely put them in their place.
Exactly. Without remorse, an apology would just be posturing. No. Justice is served in the way Lane still chooses kindness every day, despite people like you trying to tear them down.
Their research tore me.
Justice is served in the way Lane gets to continue living as their wonderful, talented self. Whereas you have to keep living as yourself. As someone who is clearly in so much pain over his own existence, he needs to make other people feel small, so he can look big.
I am far too exhausted to beleaguer this issue.
So we agree. There is no need for you to ever speak to or about Lane again.
I suppose we agree on that. You certainly wear...
You're going to speak to the Talon?
I don't expect to get much out of it, but yes.
Be careful. Clearly the Talon was able to manipulate Kenrick. And while I know you're not the idiot he is, speaking to that thing is risky.
I just have to find out what I can. If the Talon has any insight that can help us.
It's a risk worth taking, I know. Just don't reveal anything in the process.
I knew you'd be back. Dreadfully predictable.
And here I thought I surprised you. Or was your herald getting kicked back to the source part of the plan?
Don't steal credit. Your great icon pushed us back, not you. And I'm quite certain it didn't survive the battle. Judging by the way you charged straight to the Grand Gate upon hearing my plan, you favor misguided heroics. Let me guess. You're going to try for a rematch.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Let's not lie to each other. I like you.
Can't say the feeling's mutual.
Come now, I want to be confidants. Friends, even.
Fine. Let's be friends. Why don't you tell me what the Surgeborn are after so I can help you get it?
I told you, don't lie to me. But because my offer of friendship is genuine, I'll tell you. I'm after the same thing you're after. Magic. And the power that comes with it.
But Surgeborn already wield magic.
Not nearly enough of it. You know the lust for magical power is insatiable. Why else are you risking everything to tear strands of it from behemoths?
I'm not power hungry.
Don't lie. Especially when your actions betray your words with such ease.
How did you end up down here anyway?
I let myself be captured.
Why?
It became apparent that I wasn't going to uncover the secrets behind the Enclave's power by razing its capital to the ground. Though I do miss the razing. Still, I needed intel that I could only get from the inside. So I allowed myself to be captured and waited until the leader of the Enclave came to visit me alone one day. Kenrick had influence and insecurities, making him the perfect target. He felt quite special that I only spoke to him. It helped that he assumed our herald couldn't pass through the Grand Gate when he staged his attack.
How did it get through? The resonance modulator should have filtered out Surgeborn.
You didn't have a sample of that particular Surgeborn.
In my experience, Kenrick Stanold isn't exactly the trusting type. How did you convince him to open up to you?
I played the part of his distressed prisoner. Please don't hurt me. I'll do anything you ask. I'll tell you anything you want to know. Just let me live. He was all too willing to believe I was helpless. After all, that would mean he had power.
The Hearthsiders believe you were born out of the Surge. Is that really where you come from?
I will keep some secrets to myself, for now.
I thought we were friends.
Not yet. But we will be. And when that day comes, I will share more with you.
Kenrick Stanold is in rough shape after being your confidant.
I would never treat you like I treated him. You're different. Special. Trust me. In time, you'll consider us kindred spirits.
Doubt it.
See you soon.
Hey, I can't imagine how you must be feeling.
I am broken. Everyone wants a piece of me. Regardless.
Because you're in charge.
For now. Someone had to be. I don't know how I'm supposed to carry on like this. Without her, my support is gone. My foundations crumbled to dust. She wouldn't want me to cry. So I won't.
You can if you need to. I know our Weaver Band is still fairly new here, but you've got our support. All of us.
The funeral will honor her memory. Even if it's not what he wants. She would understand that it's enough. One day at a time, Brynn. That's all we can promise to ourselves.
That might be Isla's secret refuge. It's actually not too far from Lucia's workshop. Isla dedicated her life to restoring the arcs. Darm's right. We will need to continue her research. But for now, what might she consider sacred for the... A letter from the Axel. I should take it back to her. Do you think this could work for the Rite of Ashes?
It's perfect.
Isla also had a copy of On the Workings of Archons, marked with annotations, just like Lucia's.
The beat.
Wait, I'm losing you.
You hear me better now?
Yeah. Weird. The scry was cutting out.
Strange. At any rate, the book could be useful. Once you've completed the ritual, I'll take a look.
Such a sweet toy. Now to collect the ashes. Though the flame abates and the ash grows cold, let she who worshipped you rest in eternal warmth.
Beautiful, Brynn.
I'm sure Isla is home.
There it is again. The scry is cutting in and out. Dam? Aurea?
We're... Can you hear me now?
You're back.
When you bring the ashes to Cassidon's hold, I'll analyze the scry. Something strange is afoot.
Brynn, would you...
Check on Sev? Always. But how are you holding up?
I'm all right. Just worried about him, you know? He did the right thing in the end, and he seems to have come back to us for now, but all those issues that led him to the Eye in the first place, they aren't solved in a day.
He needs us now more than ever.
Exactly.
You mentioned you were in charge. Does that mean you're the new Eye now?
So the council is larger than just the 3 main representatives. As you heard, we convened and unanimously agreed that Kenric had overstayed his welcome in the role of the Eye. So he's been stripped of that, and by default, that means I'm in charge. Emergency authority. Am I the Eye? No. And nor do I particularly want to be right now. But when the time is right to hold elections, we'll do so. We need to break this cycle.
What cycle do you mean?
Council seats weren't permanent before the Surge. That idea was Kenric's. And it's clearly not worked out for us. So again, once we've solved this crisis, we'll chart a new path, assuming we survive. After all, we could all be dead this time next week.
I performed the rite, and I brought you the ashes.
Thank you, Brynn. Isla admired you. She would be honored that you did this for her.
It's not how she would have wanted things. I should have been there.
Enough! I know you're grieving. We all are. But you are no longer the Eye, and this disrespectful conduct ends now. You owe Brynn a thank you. And an apology for that matter. And probably a great deal more than that. Not only has she gone out of her way to perform the rite for your daughter, but she saved us all from certain death at the Grand Gate too. None of which she would ever have had to do if it weren't for your...
For my actions! I know! I know! It's all my fault. I should have been there. Not at the temple. At the Grand Gate. I should have stayed. The way she looked at me when I left her there. I'll never forget it. I could fill a city with my mistakes. I should have supported her work. I should never have lied to her. My regrets will drown me.
Maybe they should.
Maybe they should.
My mother used to say, you can drown in your grief, or learn to swim in it. It is unfair that you lost a child, no matter the circumstances. I am so sorry that happened to you. But now you have a choice. You can spend the rest of your days counting the ways you failed your daughter. Or you can dedicate every breath you have left to her.
How?
Just do one small thing a day that would make her proud to call you her father. Start by helping us finish the work you wish you had supported in her life.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. If you'll excuse me. But there is one thing. The Ark in your camp, the one she wanted to restore. It's called the Ark of Verdance. An enchantress named Lucia de Crassus built it.
Lucia.
Consider it a thank you for what you've done.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the Ark of Verdance?
Please. I've had enough. Just leave me be.
Fine. I understand.
The rite of ashes you performed for Kenrick's daughter was quite a display. I almost shed a tear.
How do you know about that?
I have eyes everywhere.
You're watching me through the other Surgeborn.
There are no other Surgeborn. We are one and the same.
Almost like the way bees work together in a hive?
If that makes it simple for you, close enough. Anyway, pity you couldn't save her. Is that why you dropped everything to perform a funeral rite for someone you barely know?
She was a friend, and you murdered her. Don't expect to survive long enough to kill someone else I care about.
Technically, I did not kill her. Her limitations are what destroyed her in the end. Funny how magic often provokes overreaching in your kind.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I need you to know, nobody else has been checking in on me like you have. I feel as if I'm alone in the stifling dark. But you are a bright light. Even though everything is very hard, I need you to know that I see what you're doing. Thank you.
Of course. It's just the right thing to do.
You, laying Isla to rest, is what she would have wanted. despite what her father said. You inspired her to be better, braver. It respects her memory to the fullest.
It was the least I could do.
Don't diminish your contributions.
You've got our support, whatever form that takes.
For what it's worth, I appreciate that.
By the way, I found something that you might want to see. It's a letter I found in the Spindle's hideout. It looked like your handwriting. I didn't read it.
I don't understand why you've been so kind to us, Brynn.
It's okay. I'll let you get back to it, all right?
Likewise. You deserved better from him, but that was probably all he's capable of. Come to think of it, we all deserved better from him.
What will you do now?
Take care of my people. Someone needs to. And you? You're going to try to fix the arcs.
Isla saw something in the arcs no one else did. The Enclave's legacy. Innovation and ambition. We can't let her death be in vain. Her work must be finished.
I wish I could help, but arcs were Isla's expertise, not mine. Still, I agree. That arc allowed you to pass safely through the tangles, where Surgeborn go to regenerate. If you're going to try to fix it, consider me heavily invested in your progress.
It's too great an advantage to ignore. I'll keep you updated.
My light. I remember the day you were born, vividly. When I held you, my heart was so full it threatened to break. And I know your mother felt the same way. For all her flaws, she would be so proud of you. I am so proud of you.
Dom, the interference I'm experiencing during expeditions is concerning. Is there any chance our scry is degrading like the ones belonging to the Enclave?
I'm still investigating, but my initial reaction is that it doesn't feel the same.
As long as it doesn't give out on us completely in the meantime.
However, I have taken a look at the Spindle's copy of the workings of Archons, and thankfully, the writing is far more legible than Lucia's. And her notes are significantly less paranoid at that.
About that, Kenrick Stanild told me that Lucia wasn't just tinkering with the Ark we followed through the Veil. She built it. The Ark of Verdance.
That is quite the revelation. What was it for?
That was all Kenrick could tell me. Or wanted to tell me. But Sev mentioned that Kenrick had been feeding Isla information about a failsafe for the Source. Could the Ark of Verdance be the fix she was working on without realizing it?
Yes. Yes! That could be it. Genius, Brynn. On my side, I dug into her notes. She was working on a way to fully restore our Ark for us. She was so close to a schematic, intricate, elaborate, masterful. And I finished it. Solar has the final design ready for you. Essentially, we'll be creating a power core for the Ark. Most notably, we'll need a special part, a bar of shaped coral. This is the final key for an Ark to be functional on its own without a Weaver channeling magic into it.
If we had built a power core earlier, could her death have been prevented?
She only made this discovery in the final days of her life. through researching all the arc parts we had supplied her. Her research even theorizes that using one's own magic to power an arc for brief amounts of time could result in death.
So she knew she was going to die at the Grand Gate.
She knew exactly what would happen and did it anyway. That's courage.
We can't let it be in vain. So, then the Ark of Verdance is our failsafe. Your design will get it running. Where can I find the shaped coral?
She suspected it was kept in the Archon's hearth, stored near natural coral deposits for its regenerative properties. You performed the Rite of Ashes beautifully, Brynn.
Glad to hear it. Not being part of the church myself, I felt a little out of place.
I'm sure Isla is at peace.
The rite I read mentioned shrouding the spindle in an eternal warmth. Is that in reference to an afterlife?
Yes, although the Reformed sect do believe in an afterlife, it is featured more prominently in Orthodox Hallowpire beliefs. The idea being that the Great Fire is an ethereal, divine being which cannot be fully comprehended in this life, and who waits for its followers beyond this lifetime.
The Eye asked me to collect the ashes from the altar on his behalf. What does he intend to do with them?
It depends on the sect. But often the ashes from the ritual are interred with the body in a burial site. Other times, if it's a prominent family, which the Stanilds seem to be, the ashes are housed in a family mausoleum. Tragic, of course, that a father must do this for his child instead of the other way around.
A religion founded on fire seems like a natural draw for weavers. Was that your experience in Renland?
Hardly. In Renland, magic was ostracized. And there, it was viewed as unnatural corruption of fire. Pure ignorance. That's why I've turned my back on it for many years. But you're right, that the Stanild family's religious beliefs are notable. The prominence of the church in Upper Denevron suggests the weavers here held it in high regard.
I appreciate your perspective on it, but I'd better let you get back to work.
Before you go, thank you for laying her to rest. You could have just paid your respects and left, but it was the right thing to do.